Welcome back to my channel, guys. In this video I'll be sharing with you how to neatly attach a placket to your dress. This is very easy, straight to the point, and beginners friendly. If you're not yet subscribed to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to fold my fabric into two in order to determine my center front. So you fold the fabric into two and you're going to iron it. This is so that it's going to be easy for you to get where your center front is. So the iron is going to make a mark there, so it will be easy for you to know where the center front is. So now I have a line there on my center front. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this over to the wrong side. This is the wrong side. I've already joined the shoulder of this dress, but you may not do that. If it's going to be bulky for you, you can just attach your placket before joining the shoulders. So now on the wrong side of my front, on my center front, I'm going to mark the length of my slits. Okay, so I want the slit opening, that is the opening of the placket, to be 8 inches long. So I'm going to mark 8 inches there. And then I'm going to mark a straight line. I'm going to use that line that the iron made as a guide to use my chalk and just make it visible for the purpose of this tutorial. So now I have a piece of fabric, okay, that I already iron interfacing on the wrong side. So now the piece of fabric measures, the length is 12 inches and the width is 8 inches. So this is what we are going to be using as our placket. So iron and interfacing on it to make it firm. So now I'm going to place this on. I'm going to fold it into two like this, just as I did for the main fabric. I'll fold it into two in order to get the center of this piece of fabric. So we fold it into two and iron it, and then the iron will make it easy for you to know where the center is. All right, so I'm just going to rule the line. Okay, so you're going to mark the length of your distance slit, just like I did for the front. But first, you know that we are going to be finishing the top part of the placket, so we are going to leave about 2 inches on the top, and then from there we'll mark the length of the slit just as I did for the front, which is 8 inches. I'm going to mark it. So it is 2 inches we left it at the top. Is what we will need that later, and an allowance there later to just finish the top of the placket. All right, so I just wrote a line there to know that I'm leaving 2 inches there. Then I'm going to rule a straight line using the mark that the iron made, all right, to the 8 inches. That is the opening of my slit. So now what I want to do is to mark ½ inch on both sides of that line that I marked, and then I'll connect it. So mark at the top area, then connect it with a straight line. So the 2 inches we have up there, I've already attached facing on my neckline. So I'll be needing that 2 inches to finish up the top part of the placket. So this is what I have. And then what I'm going to do next is, I'll place the front of this piece, that's my placket, on the back of the main fabric. Okay, so the front is facing the back. You place it on the back. Now here I'm going to match something like an arc. Just watch what I'm doing. Going to match it like this. This is just as a guide because you'll be notching that area so that your placket will lay flat on that side. Okay, so now I'm going to place this placket on the wrong side of my fabric, and I'll make sure that that middle point, make sure that the 2 inches, you left 2 inches allowance up there. You see what I'm doing? And you make sure that the midpoint, that is that middle line there, is matching the middle of the main piece. So the midpoint of this um placket, that's this piece of fabric, is going to match the midpoint of your dress. Okay, so make sure it matches. So the middle, the center of the placket should match the center of your front fabric. And you know that you're placing the piece of fabric on the wrong side of your fabric. So you're going to hold it down with some pins. I'm holding it down at the center line of the placket. Then what I'm going to
So I'll
do now
sew on
is
the
I'm
seam
going to sew.
allowances just like I'm showing you. Sew it, then I'll come back. This is what I have. I've already done that. Then I'll take off my pins. Then I'm going to cut open the center of this. All right, I'll slash it open. So if this is going to be bulky for you, you don't have to join your shoulders. You can piece your placket before joining your shoulders. All right, so I'm going to cut the center. You're cutting both the main fabric and the placket that you've already sewn on it. So you cut it open, and when you get to this side, you're going to notch the lines that I marked. Okay, don't cut through your seams, just notch it slightly. This is going to help your placket lay flat on that side. So this is what you're going to have, this tiny little thing like this, like a triangle. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to push all of this to the right side of my fabric. So just take it all in, push it all to the right side of the fabric, and you can see that place is already laying flat even when I have not ironed. Okay, so that is the purpose of the notch. Now I'm going to turn my fabric to the right side now. Okay, so this is what you're going to have once you've pushed everything to the right side. You're going to have something like this. So what next I'm going to do is on this side, all right, I'm going to, by the way guys, if you're still watching, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. All right, let's move on. I'm going to fold in 1/2 inch on this side first. Fold in 1/2 inch. I'm going to iron it down. Please make use of your iron so that your plackets would, relax and look nice. It's in front, so you want it to look really neat and nice. I'll do the same thing for this other side. Iron in 1/2 inch.
Okay, now I've ironed in half of an inch on both sides. All right. So what next I'm going to do to finish up the upper part of my neckline, I'm going to fold it over like this. Fold it over, make sure that your seam matches, and then I'm going to sew on that 2 inches that we measure. Remember, make sure you're sewing directly on the same line of your neckline, but you're going to leave half inch, this half inch that we folded, that we ironed, that is now on fold, you're going to leave it open. That is, you're not going to sew on it, so your sewing will start half inch away. All right, so you leave half inch and you sew to the ends of the side. Okay, I'll do that on both sides. All right, so I've done that. As you can see where my sewing stops, the half inch that I left there. Okay, I left that half inch there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut off the excess. So the reason for doing this is to get a neat finishing on the upper part of your neckline, because I've already turned it with a doll face. So if you're sorry, already turned it with a facing. So if you turn with a facing, you have to do this so that the upper part is going to relax. So the next thing I'm going to do is to push this thing in like this. That is, push it inside. Make sure you use a sharp object to punch that area so that everything just comes out. Then that half inch that we left, so you're going to just fold everything in. Fold everything in. Remember, we already ironed on it, so it's going to be easy for you. So you fold everything in like this, and then you're going to sew directly on the seam. Okay, directly on the seam. If it's possible, the sewing should even match the seam that is there already. All right, so you're going to sew on the seam, and you're going to stop where the notch stopped here. That is where your sewing will stop. All right, so you're going to sew on your seam, the rough seam inside. So I will do the same thing for this side. Push this one inside like this. Use my scissors to bring out everything there. Then fold in the half inch, and then I'm going to use the half inch that I already ironed to cover the seam there, and then I'll sew on top of it. So I'll do this for both sides. Make sure your sewing ends where your notch is. All right, so I've done that, and look at what it's looking like. So look at where my seam stopped, where the notch is. All right, so this is where the notch is. So you go ahead and do the overlap, whichever way you want it, to the left or to the right. Just do your overlap and make sure you iron as well. Okay, so I'm going to iron this. Just make everything relax and iron. Okay, see how neat the neckline is looking, how nice everything is looking. So the next and final thing to do is on this side. Okay, this rough side, this rough edges, we're going to align everything properly. Just take your time, align everything, fold them well. We're going to finish up on that area. Then on the down part, you're going to fold in half of an inch like this. Okay, then you're going to start from the one notched area down like this to the next one. All right, so I'm just going to do that, and that is the end. That is all for this tutorial. Okay, so this is how to achieve a very neat and clean placket, especially if you're turning with the facing. So this is how nice it looks. Now you can go ahead and attach your buttons, your press buttons. Okay, so this is the front, looking so neat. All right, so I'm going to turn it to the back so you see how neat the back also looks. See the back, guys. That's the end of the tutorial, guys. So the video of this particular dress I made will be up on my channel, so you may like to check it out, guys. Thank you for watching.